If you are thinking about buying Micron, or you already bought Micron and you're not sure what you should do, if you should hold, if you shouldn't hold, I'm going to give you a quick analysis and we're going to go over some of the figures that are kind of the most important ones to watch. I'm also going to give you exact levels to watch. And if you see it breaking these levels, you really need to put away the phone and not look for a month or two if you already bought in. But if you haven't bought in and you're smart and you're waiting for the correct opportunity, well, then this might be a generational opportunity for you to make that money that you missed out on allegedly. So looking here at the analysts and what the analysts are all saying. Now, this is 33 different firms, and each one of them has their target price and when they inputted these prices. Now, most of them, well, these ones are a little bit outdated. That's why the prices are unrealistic. But all of these people are assuming we're going to go over 1,000. And if you read these names, these are some of the most popular. Wells Fargo, I mean, JP Morgan, Bank of America. These are the most, dense, most successful, biggest, institutions that you can imagine. Now, as you can see, everyone is saying 12, 1600, 1500, 1300, 2000, 1400, 1870. All these numbers are very high. So just going based off this, then you would have the thought process, well, hey, man, I mean, we have a lot of upcoming, victories ahead. When you're looking at the total of them, so if we're looking at the 45 of them, 40 out of 45 large firms are saying you need to buy this. 5 are saying you need to hold, and not a single one is saying you need to sell, which is kind of crazy. Now, we don't really see this too often, but it does happen sometimes. And when it does happen, you have to be careful. So we're looking here at the numbers that you really need to watch when you decide if you should buy, and if you already bought in, if you should sell and accept some losses or maybe minimize your victory on it to be able to re-enter at a better price. Now, the most important prices that we have here is we have the July low at 895 or so, 893, 895. And then we have the June low at 850 or so, a little bit give or take. This depends on the exchange you're using, but 850 and 890. And then the last most important figure that we just had was that 20 DMA. Oh, the 50 DMA, sorry. And that just bounced off it at the 905-ish. We just barely hit that today at 900, exactly on the dot. And then we bounced right off. Now, if you look back here, there's examples of when we did hit it and we bounced off, right? And then we rallied and it was good times. But there's also the example of when we hit it, went briefly under it, which kind of looks similar. And then we had a minor rally, which then later led to a deeper dump down all the way to the 100-day moving average. Now, what is the 100-day moving average now? You're looking at the 700s to 680. As time progresses, this is going to be bending a little bit. So you can estimate it to be at the 700. What does that mean? That means if we break these two levels, because there's a lot of people that have their stop losses and a lot of people that are setting their selling orders below this low right here in the June. And there's a lot of people that have it set below this low right here, the July. So the July low and the June low, this is a very common thing. You might even see it get stop hunted, where the institutions push down the price just enough so they can stop out enough people and then push the stock up. So if you see it hit, the 890 zone, which we came very close to, we were just at 900, 890 zone, they're probably pushing people out. And then if you see it break the 850, now there's a possibility that it'll just bounce off it. And the way that you want to assess that is, you want to make sure the daily close on that is below the 852. And if you reach that stage, then you understand that the next possible most likely level to see is the 700s. And if we do get to the 700s and we somehow don't hold support, then the next level is the 400. But we most likely, very, very high probability that we will hold support at the 600s. As you can see here, we held it just a little bit briefly under. That's around 9% under. So let's say we get over here, the 666, then it'll probably be right at the 608, 606, these kind of figures. That is most likely the situation if we do break this 850. Now, I hate when people are like, oh, if this happens and if this happens and if this happens. No, I'm not trying to give you a million scenarios. Now, the only scenarios that you have to understand is just the levels. And if the levels break, then yes, we are heading lower. There is no possibility that we are going to break the 855 on a daily close and then just start bouncing up. No, that's very, very, very impossible in the days of trading. What's most likely to happen is if we break the 855 on a daily close, then we're going to see the 700, 600 range, 600 to 700 range come in very shortly. And after that, we're probably going to end up rallying back up to the moon. Now, what does invalidate this theory right here? Well, it's something very, very simple. If Dr. Trump all of a sudden decides that he is going to stop the war with Iran. Now, this war causes instability, and artificial intelligence and anything related to artificial intelligence and anyone in the supply chain of artificial intelligence does not like instability, because instability means higher energy costs. Instability means people have to clench on their money more. Instability means the investors are probably thinking twice before investing in certain companies. Instability is very bad for the AI world. So if the war all of a sudden ends tomorrow, which, we had the MOA and all these MOU, regardless, if somehow Trump comes out tomorrow and says, hey guys, war is over, don't worry, we just got a new ceasefire, then yeah, we're probably going to rally right away, and this whole theory is invalidated. Now, if the war is not under a ceasefire or peace agreement or another MOU, then you have to focus on the levels. Now, this whole Trump thing, it's kind of changed this whole world of trading, as we're not really trading by levels as much with currently Dr. Trump in the office, but the levels always do hold. I personally trade levels. I have been very successful trading levels. Everyone that trades levels understands these figures. And also, when you look at the 20-day moving, the 100-day moving average, you can see that it also has like a technical support here, where it went up and then it caught a little bit of a resistance, and then when it came back down, it used that same level as a support. Not only am I seeing this, the algos are seeing this, any other trader is seeing this, institutions are seeing this. So a lot of people understand these things. And if you backtrack a little bit, we had a little bit of a, resistance here on the way up. And then we ended up kind of using that same exact range as a support later on, and then we went up again, and then we used this level as a support, but it doesn't feel like it's pulled back enough. It feels like this really needs a deeper pullback to the 600s. And a lot of the times, guys, yeah, it does feel like the market is against you, but it's just, you're holding too long. You need to really exit positions quite fast when you are in profits. Exit gradually, and if you aren't already in MU, then you want to get in around this range, and if you see the war ends, then you can just buy in right away and wish for the best. But this is very key levels that we went over throughout this video. If you are currently holding MU and your purchase price was above the 1,000 or above the 900s, then you are in a little bit of a bad situation. Unless you have enough capital ready to average your cost down as it falls, then I would really recommend for people to reduce the risk, to reduce the position size, and get back in when it does go down. If we see that close below the 850, if we see it bounce off the support, but it hangs around between the 850 and the 900, or the 850 and the 887, then probably the next trading day we will see the plummet. Other than that, guys, I wish you all the best of luck. Stay safe, and God bless.